guys, Mario here. So as you can see, Joe Biden hates Hispanic people. He's telling people not to come. His administration said, don't take to the sea and come to America for a better life. You need to stick it out in your own country. Okay, he didn't actually say that. But Kamala Harris did say, don't come. Don't come. Don't come. Kind of interesting for a woman who spent the beginning of her career on her knees in front of a man's crotch. But I digress. You guys, it's hysterical to see the glaring differences between communism and capitalism. And they're playing out right before our very eyes. We see people in Venezuela. We see people in Cuba. We see people in Hong Kong. We see people in Taiwan who are choosing to hold up the American flag, say freedom, chant liberty. They don't want high taxes. They don't want to be told what to think. They don't want to be told that they have no upwards mobility, which is the reason why we live and thrive in such a beautiful place called America. We have the ability to become rich. A perfect example is Madam C.J. Walker. She was a beautician. She was a former slave. During the Great Depression, she actually made millions of dollars selling cosmetics, going door to door. She had that hustle. She had that drive. That's one of the hallmarks of being American, which is why people come to this country, because through their hard work is rewarded. In communism, you have to give up half, if not more, of whatever it is that you do to the government, to the state, for the betterment of everybody else. And on the surface, it seems great. But then what happens when people put in hard work and they get a great harvest? It's very disheartening to have half of your produce, half of your profit, half of your hard work taken without any sort of anything to basically to show for it. I mean, you could say that they have free healthcare, great, but Jen Psaki's over here talking about how the people are rising up because they don't have access to healthcare. Excuse me, these people are living the life of communism. They all have the same access to healthcare. They all have the same healthcare. The difference is that healthcare is rationed out between the people who deserve it, who the government sees as a good investment, and those who it deems as a not good investment. If the government is in charge of, let's say, 1,000 doses of vaccine, you're going to need to give it to the 1,000 people who are most susceptible. You're not just going to be able to give it to everybody because you have a limited quantity. And that's one of the pitfalls of socialism. There's never enough to go around for everybody, no matter how hard you make everybody work, which is why they need both of you to work. They need your mom and your dad to work. The hammer and the sickle, one working the fields, one working I guess you could say the forges and the infernos. Someone working on the hammer, someone working in the field. And who's going to raise your children? Well, that's going to be the state. And which is why the state is working so hard to vaccinate your children, to indoctrinate your children. So my prediction in the next few years is I'm going to see a lot of parents pulling their children out of public schools, putting them into homeschools, putting them into charter schools, getting them away from the education system. Because as I've said before, and as I'll say again in a million times if I have to until I'm blue in the face, before 1910, we had a literacy rate of 90 to 100%. That's an amazing statistic. And 1910 was, 50 years after the fall of slavery? So you can't say that they were all slaves. By 1910, everybody was a free man and everybody in America could read. That's a scary statistic. When now you're looking at the statistics, you have maybe 50-60% of the population who can read and 40% of the population who is completely illiterate. And I think we're doing a disservice to our people because we are falling into the pitfalls of communism. We've allowed it to reach our shores. We've allowed it to penetrate our government, and we need to start taking our country back. I love you guys all. I'll talk to you guys soon. Mwah. Bye, guys.